My Life with the Walter Boys 2 didn't just stun fans with the outcome of the love triangle in the finale. It also dropped a devastating twist that threatens even greater heartbreak for the family. And if that wasn't enough, it sets the stage for a season 3 that could be darker and more tragic than anything we've seen so far. Before we unpack the jaw-dropping moment that had Jackie confessing "I love you" to two brothers just weeks apart, let's turn to the shocking closing scene and what it means for George going forward. All through season 2, while the kids were caught up in their own drama, their father George was quietly drowning in anxiety over the future of his ranch. He resisted Will and Richard's pressure until he finally struck a better deal near the end of the season. But just as it seemed things might be looking up, the finale delivered a sudden accident that left us in the dark about his fate. A popular theory may not only explain what went wrong, but also shed light on what lies ahead for George and the sprawling Walter family in season 3. Through all the back and forth of the finale, it was revealed that Will had gone out searching for his father, only to return not with George, but with an ambulance at his side. That chilling detail made it clear. George had been in a serious accident, one bad enough to leave him severely injured and shaken. The news landed like a thunderclap, shaking the Walter family to its core. Yet, as devastating as the accident was, it doesn't seem like this is the end of George's story. To kill him off now would feel like too cruel a blow, especially considering how much Jackie has already endured. Instead, the accident feels more like a turning point, an event that will alter the show's trajectory without removing George from it entirely. In season 3, he's likely to face a long and painful recovery, leaning heavily on his family to help him heal, both physically and emotionally. Up until now, George has been paralyzed more by fear than by circumstance. His reluctance to make changes on the ranch has crushed his son's dreams and kept the family business stagnant. But the accident could force him to see things differently. Being confronted with his own fragility may finally push George to reassess what really matters and to start embracing the possibility of change rather than fearing it. For much of season 3, George will likely be confined, unable to move freely and forced to rely on others. That leaves Will with the responsibility of stepping up and taking charge, a heavy but defining moment for him. This shift could become the very thing George needs to recognize that letting go of control doesn't always lead to ruin. Sometimes change, even when it's terrifying, opens the door to growth, to hope, and to a future that's brighter than the past. And speaking of change, season 2 made it clear that transformation is inevitable, whether characters fight against it or not. From personal struggles to fractured relationships, nearly everyone was forced to confront something they didn't want to face. Season 3, with George's accident as its catalyst, seems ready to push that theme even further, showing us that while tragedy may shake the Walters, it could also be the very thing that reshapes them. What makes My Life with the Walter Boys even more fascinating is that the messy love drama doesn't stop with Jackie and her two brothers. The show also gave us another triangle, this time involving Nathan, Skyler, and Zach. And honestly, Nathan made a spectacular mess of things. Just when it seemed like he and Skyler were starting to find real ground together, Nathan let himself get swept up by the attention of someone else. The second another boy gave him validation, he strayed, and that was enough to prove Skyler's fears right. As Skyler himself admitted, he didn't fully trust Nathan, even though his heart was still very much tied to him. Still, if we've learned anything from this series, it's that love, in all its chaos, has a way of circling back. Despite the hurt, the mistrust, and Nathan's poor choices, there's still a real chance these two could reunite in season 3. Nathan may have been the one to break things, but Skyler's feelings haven't disappeared. The chemistry between them is undeniable, and sometimes love, even when bruised, finds a way to heal. As for Zach, his role feels more like a temporary distraction than a true contender. It becomes clearer the more we look back. Zach wasn't really interested in Nathan for Nathan's sake. His actions seemed more about stirring Skyler's emotions, about trying to get noticed by him rather than building something real. And in the end, Skyler's response spoke volumes. He knows exactly what he wants, and he's unwavering when it comes to following his heart. That person isn't Zach, it's Nathan. Looking ahead, Season 3 could very well see Nathan and Skyler gravitating back toward each other. But this time, things won't be simple. Nathan has to do more than just say he's sorry. He has to prove that he's worthy of Skyler's trust again. Words alone won't cut it anymore. Skyler will expect actions, consistency, and a level of commitment Nathan hasn't fully shown before. If Nathan rises to the challenge, their story could transform from one of betrayal into one of redemption, making their reunion not just likely, but truly rewarding for fans who've been rooting for them all along. While we're still on the subject of second chances, another pair worth keeping an eye on in My Life with the Welcher Boys is Dany and Aaron. Their relationship seemed steady enough for most of Season 2, but when the reality of future plans began creeping in, cracks started to show. What once looked like an easy romance quickly turned complicated as their dreams began to pull them in different directions. Dany's biggest mistake was trying to mold Aaron's future into something that mirrored his own passions. He wanted her to chase the same interests, the same career path, as if aligning their ambitions would guarantee their relationship's survival. But what he failed to realize, at least at first, was that forcing someone into a path they didn't choose can do more harm than good. To his credit, Dany eventually recognized his error, and he made a heartfelt effort to make it right. In one of the season's more touching gestures, he even suggested Aaron apply to colleges closer to him, so they wouldn't be torn apart by distance. But Aaron, strong-willed and independent, couldn't simply abandon the roadmap she had already drawn for her life. Her dreams had taken shape long before Dany's suggestions, and compromising them entirely for love wasn't a sacrifice she was ready to make. That moment of tension underscored one of the show's most relatable truths. At their age, making long-term commitments is a gamble. They're still young, still figuring out who they are, and deciding to reshape their entire futures around each other could be as dangerous as it is romantic. Even so, fans know that their story is far from over. Dany and Aaron's connection has proven resilient, and their love is stronger than the obstacles in their way. Distance, different ambitions, even misunderstandings, none of it feels insurmountable. Season 3 is likely to test them in new ways, but also to bring them back together, showing that growth and compromise can go hand in hand with young love. And it's not just their relationship that will be shifting. Silver Falls itself is on the brink of change. As some of the kids prepare to graduate high school and head off to college or pursue personal goals, the ranch will no longer feel like the same bustling home base it once was. George's accident, paired with his stalled deal with Richard, will leave the ranch in a strange state of limbo, at least until the family can figure out how to move forward again. Meanwhile, Will's frustration continues to simmer. Season 2 revealed his impatience and determination as he clashed with George over the ranch's future. Where George clung desperately to the past, refusing to tear down what he had built, Will only wanted to see his own vision come alive on that land. Even when Haley suggested exploring opportunities outside Silver Falls, Will remained steadfast. His heart belongs to the ranch, and nothing else will satisfy him. Season 3 promises to weave these threads together. Young love tested by ambition, a family shaken by tragedy, and a ranch caught between preservation and transformation. The result could be the show's most emotionally charged season yet. Will has made it clear that he sees no future for himself anywhere but on the ranch. That conviction sets the stage for Season 3, where he will inevitably step into the role of primary caretaker. The weight of responsibility will fall squarely on his shoulders, forcing him to make tough decisions about the land, the family, and the ranch's future. One thing is certain. Leasing the property to a winery company has never sat well with him, and it's unlikely he'll change his stance now. Instead, Will is poised to continue down the path he has already begun, reimagining the ranch in his own way. This determination could mark the beginning of a true transformation. By season 3, the old ranch may no longer look or feel like the place we've come to know. Change is on the horizon, and with it may come fresh opportunities, new faces, and a renewed sense of purpose. Whatever happens, the future promises to look strikingly different for everyone connected to Silver Falls. For Alex, those changes will take a particularly exciting shape. Having secured a sponsorship for saddle bronc riding, he is set to dive even deeper into the dangerous yet exhilarating world of rodeo. His passion for the sport will only grow, much to his mother's worry and disapproval. Still, this new chapter also opens the door for stronger connections, especially with Blake. Although Blake won't be serving as his coach anymore, riding as teammates will create a new bond between them, one built on mutual respect rather than hierarchy. This shift in their relationship could bring out a more dynamic and supportive side of both characters. Most importantly, fans can expect to see Alex at his happiest in Season 3, thriving as he embraces the activity that brings him the most joy. Meanwhile, Cole is preparing for a milestone of his own. After passing his SATs and securing a much-needed college sponsorship, he is more determined than ever to carve out his future. His storyline promises to highlight growth, ambition, and the struggles of stepping into adulthood, balancing personal dreams with the complicated tangle of emotions that still tie him to Jackie. And that brings us back to the heart of the series, the tangled web of love and loyalty surrounding Jackie and the brothers. Season 2 proved just how unpredictable her feelings could be, from showing little interest in Cole to trying to smooth things over with Alex, to crossing the line into kisses and passionate moments, only to return to Cole with a declaration of love. Her indecision kept viewers on edge, and Season 3 is set to make those romantic stakes even higher. With so much at play, Will's leadership, Alex's rodeo career, Cole's college plans, the question of who Jackie ultimately chooses could become the most critical and emotionally demanding storyline of all. The tangled love story at the heart of My Life with the Walter Boys has left not only the brothers spinning in circles, but the audience as well. Jackie's journey hasn't been easy. She's endured deep, life-altering losses that have shaped the way she approaches love. Those wounds seem to fuel her confusing choices, driving her into a cycle of chasing whichever brother is currently distant from her, while ignoring the one who's finally ready to let her in. When one comes closer, she pulls away. When another turns cold, she runs after him. It's a dizzying back and forth, and it all but guarantees that the love triangle will remain a central conflict in Season 3. Season 2 showed just how complicated things could get. Jackie never officially dated either of the brothers, at least not in public. Behind closed doors, she slipped back into a romance with Alex, only for that to unravel the moment she confessed her love to Cole. Just as the drama was about to reach a breaking point, George's shocking accident interrupted everything, leaving fans desperate for answers. But those questions won't stay buried for long. Season 3 is bound to bring them back to the surface. The truth is that Jackie wasn't simply afraid of going public with Alex. Deep down, she knew her heart was pulling her toward Cole. That realization will likely set the stage for even more heartbreak. Alex, once again, may find himself crushed as Jackie edges closer to Cole. And it won't happen all at once. It'll begin subtly, under the innocent excuse of checking college applications together. But it will soon turn into longer hours spent side by side, laughter shared in quiet moments, and eventually something deeper. For Alex, that shift will feel like betrayal all over again. Still, Alex has his own way of coping with disappointment. Season 3 may show him falling back on his familiar defense mechanism, charming his way through heartbreak by flirting with other girls at school. It's his method of masking the pain, pretending he's moved on when, in reality, he's still carrying the weight of Jackie's choices. The cycle of love, loss, and longing continues. And if Season 2 was any indication, Season 3 promises to turn the emotional roller coaster into an even wilder ride. fans should brace themselves for another round of shifting loyalties, messy confessions, and broken hearts, because Jackie's story and the triangle that defines it is far from over. Alex has gone through a major transformation since Season 1, and by the end of Season 2, he is hardly the same person we first met. That evolution makes his storyline even more compelling heading into Season 3, though it also means he could face his darkest chapter yet. With Jackie likely to break his heart all over again, Alex may spiral further, struggling with rejection and the feeling of being caught in a never-ending cycle of disappointment. Yet Alex isn't defined solely by Jackie. He has built meaningful relationships outside of that complicated love triangle, and those connections could be his saving grace. One of the strongest is his bond with Blake, forged through their shared passion for rodeo. But perhaps the most significant tie is the one he shares with Kylie. Long before Jackie entered the picture, Alex and Kylie had a closeness that hinted at something deeper. Even after years of shifting circumstances and personal growth, there's still a magnetic pull between them, a pull that seems impossible to fully ignore. On the surface, Alex and Kylie's relationship appears platonic. They've learned to keep whatever feelings they may have buried beneath the surface. But cracks in that facade were clear when Alex couldn't hide his jealousy after seeing Dylan kiss Kylie in front of the whole school. That flicker of envy revealed emotions he's tried to suppress, emotions that could easily resurface if the right moment presents itself. Still, Season 3 is unlikely to push that thread too far. The story seems to be steering Kylie and Dylan toward one another, allowing them to grow into a couple with real depth and mutual respect. And in truth, their pairing is more than just romance. It's transformative. We've already seen how Kylie's influence has nudged Dylan toward accountability. She challenged him to stop hiding behind excuses, to step away from reckless behavior, and to take responsibility for his choices. That kind of impact doesn't fade overnight, and Season 3 will almost certainly continue this arc, showing Dylan becoming a better version of himself thanks to Kylie's steady presence. Together, they have the potential to become one of the show's most inspiring couples, a sharp contrast to the chaos of Jackie's triangle. As for Alex, the heartbreak will sting, but his relationships with Blake and Kylie ensure that he won't be entirely adrift. Whether he admits it or not, those bonds could help anchor him, even as he wrestles with love, jealousy, and the lingering shadow of Jackie. Season 3 may bring Alex pain, but it could also bring him growth, forcing him to confront not just who he loves, but who he is becoming. At its core, my life with the Walter Boys has always been about Jackie, her resilience, her desire to fix problems, and her constant need to give back to the family that welcomed her during her darkest hour. That drive to be useful, to bring order to chaos, has defined her journey so far, and Season 3 is set to highlight it even more. We'll see Jackie continuing to lend a hand at the ranch, supporting the Walters in ways both big and small. But where her influence will shine brightest is at school, the place where she truly began to prove herself in Season 2. By the finale, Jackie wasn't just noticed, she was celebrated. Her efforts didn't go unrecognized, and Aaron's encouragement to aim higher planted a seed that will bear fruit in Season 3. Even though she lost the student election in Season 2, that setback only paved the way for bigger things ahead. Season 3 will see Jackie stepping into real leadership as she takes on the role of Student Council President, a position that will not only challenge her, but also empower her. This new responsibility will serve as a healthy outlet, giving her purpose and balance while she continues to wrestle with grief and the complicated feelings she still harbors for both Cole and Alex. Leadership suits Jackie. Organizing events, managing people, and juggling academics are areas where she thrives. Season 3 is likely to showcase her at her most confident and capable, proving that even in the midst of personal turmoil, she has the ability to bring people together and create positive change. And yet, while she's making strides at school and helping the Walters at home, Jackie's heart remains her greatest challenge. The push and pull between Cole and Alex won't disappear overnight. Instead, her growth as a leader will mirror the growth she still needs in love, learning to choose with clarity, to commit with courage, and to stop running from the consequences of her own feelings. In the end, Season 3 promises to bring out the best in Jackie, a young woman who refuses to be defined by tragedy, who steps up when others falter, and who learns that leading others begins with learning to lead herself, even as her heart keeps tugging her in two very different directions. If Season 3 is the reckoning, Season 4 feels set to be the rebuild, the year after the storm when choices harden into consequences. With Netflix confirming Season 3 for 2026 and cameras already rolling, the creative team is clearly looking beyond it, hinting that the Walter saga still has room to grow. Should a fourth season be ordered, expect it to move past the love triangle and into full-blown fallout. In other words, less, who will she pick, and more, who do they all become? A natural evolution the showrunner has teased as the next chapter once Season 3 resolves its cliffhangers. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and like the video to support the channel. Also, here's another video from our channel you might like.